says, I'm acting.
My brother, thank you. Man, this is a blessing, I'm telling you.
Mine too.
Oh,
Mine too.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
We've been on this thing for a long time.
How long?
I don't know.
Oh, come. This is so fine. Welcome. Come
Okay.
through. Come through. Yeah. We call ourselves So Fine Network. Yeah. That's Mahauta there.
Hello, sweetheart.
That's the Mahauta you're joking to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the young man says, no, John, I'm going to take you as you come in.
Yeah.
I said, then what we say? He says freestyle. He says, I've been freestyling all my life.
That's my young son.
I've been freestyling all my life. When I told my dad I want to be an actor, I said to him, I want to freestyle. He said, what are you talking about?
I tell you that you want actor for what? Those days, even when I was growing up, sometimes the old man would find me with friends playing a guitar. He says, what are you doing? Ushayi katara labambo uzofuna ukuthola umsebenzi.
Ngiyadlala. What do you mean you are playing? What do you mean you are playing? Ngiyadlala.
This is our space.
God.
Yeah, it was so good to see you.
I'm fine, my brother. I must bless the Lord.
Oh, no, we're grateful.
I said to a friend of mine in
Yeah.
Hey, kunjani brother John? Man, it's all right. Like, unzima mfowethu
Yes,
kwathi
yes.
Hayi brother John, nje muni so much. All right kuwe.
Go right to go.
Yeah, brother John.
The rest of the people.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, that's Jesse. Jesse, yeah. This is Nontokozo.
Good morning.
Yeah. She and I and my youngest son were partners in this endeavor here. Yeah, but the visionary is here.
Oh my God.
Thank you for coming here
Thank
today.
you.
Come through.
We're so excited for this conversation.
No, we're going to talk about old things.
We are ready for that.
We're going to talk about old things and old times.
Sit over here.
We're talking about old things and old times.
Old times, yeah, and how the journey has been, and hopefully share a few gems. A few gems, yeah. John Kani. I can't believe I'm sitting with you just to have this lovely conversation. I've been looking forward to it, here on Don't Die Unknown, which is a new podcast that I've just started, myself, having been in broadcasting for many years. What has been around?
Of your life.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, the legend is coming. So do I call you John? Can I call you John? Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm only 82 years old. I'm only 82.
Yeah.
John is good. That's Braden and Brajon, man.
Yeah, Braden and Brajon.
We've always known each other like that. That's Braden and Brajon.
Yeah, welcome. Really, it's really a pleasure having you. I was just curious about one thing. When you were young, you started working in a factory, in a car factory. I think it was Ford or something, what I've read. 22 rand a week you were earning.
Yes.
What do you buy with 22 rand?
Everything.
Everything.
22 rand, I was the most highly paid at Ford Motor Company. The wages with salaries were like 14.
Is it?
14
That's in
rand
the
a week.
60s, by the way.
That's
yeah?
64, 65, 63, 64, 65. After I passed matric, I applied to be I wanted to be a lawyer, a human rights lawyer. The Eastern Cape those days. It was the hot plate of the struggle.
Yeah.
Right. So I got accepted. I was going to go with Bani Pichana and Tisani and all of us, right? And suddenly my father's youngest brother, Harry, was arrested.
Oh, no.
And actually my father told the security police where he was. My father did not know. This white man comes in and he says, hello, Babu Kani. He said, fine. Look, man, your brother. Where is he now? And I walk in and I said, don't talk to this piece of inverted commas. My father got so angry with me. He says, how can you talk like that to an elderly person? He was old, white man old.
But then how do you get to work in a factory? And the reason I'm asking about the money, because in today's world, everybody's chasing money.
Yes.
I mean, we have troubles. Leaders are being caught for all sorts of things currently in the country, for example. I mean, and you had such little money and you said it was a lot of money. What attitude was that?
The attitude was based on the fact that there were three structures. There was salary for whites for the same job, salary for colors and Indians for the same job. We were on the third rank, black people for the same job. If the white man was paid 1,000, the colored and the whites would be paid about 300 to 400. The black man would be paid mostly 100 a month. So that was the kind of salary. So to walk in every Friday with 22 rand, I was like my father's joy because
now-
he could buy everything.
But when you look at what's happening in the world today, I mean, many of our leaders are doing the wrong things for money. What do you think?
Man, you can't even survive these days if you're going to be honest worker. Kunento manje in Port Elizabeth, amaXhosa athi ngithola umsebenzi, got job somewhere, and the people ask, sikhona na isonka? Meaning, is there any other way within that you could make money in a corrupt way, rather than depend on the salary?
Yep.
So those were the days, and when my idea was really I'm going to work at Ford Motor Company, make some money, because my father didn't have money, not to take me to university. Then the following year I'll go to university to join my friends. It didn't happen because I had to be part of supporting my father's 11 children.
Your father had 11 kids?
Yes,
What number are you?
I'm number 2.
Yeah, being at the top there, the pressure was on for you.
Absolutely.
Who's number one? Is it number one, a lady, a
No,
girl?
number 1 is a brother.
He's a brother as well.
Oh, he
so you
was-
guys were carrying the load.
We had 4, all of it.
So you began to be a leader at a very young age.
Sometimes people say, what do you miss most as growing up?
Yes.
My youth.
Why you misuse?
I've never been a young person. I've always been entrusted with responsibility. You've always looked after yourself, then look after the house, look after the father, clean up this. I didn't have time to go out there and try sniffing glue, and try doing things that young people were doing, just being reckless and fine. I never had that time. It was all the time you got to be responsible. There were the other siblings. Even when I started working, you talk about 20 being a lot of money.
22 rand, yes, a week. Yeah?
Yes, because it kept the other siblings at school.
But to carry that kind of responsibility must have taught you some lessons about leadership at that young age. What stands out for you? I mean, I'm just curious.
It stands out, the family, the community.
Yes.
That first I'm responsible to my father and my mother, and then to my siblings, and then to the extended Kani clan, and then to New Brighton, the township, the community. And finally, it just graduated to being responsible for the people, for the country.
Standing out and working for people as a community. Would you say that if one is leading an organization, that kind of approach of a sense of community, of belonging, and this is for example,
Yes.
would you say would apply today? Is a leader should apply that kind of approach?
The difficulty today is that we are at the other end and the other level, where people do not look for work for the purposes of working. They go there for the purposes, how do I make it? How do I survive? How fast do I get to the top? How much do I want to be paid? There's a greediness around us. And that's about making money and being ostentatious about it and showing success. We didn't understand showing success. We just were living a
So
surviving.
it's a job, you have a
Yes.
responsibility to carry, and the money must be used properly.
When I bought my first Flosham shoes, because a friend of mine went to Joburg,
Yeah.
Elof Street, and I said to my father, they cost about 60 rand at that stage. And my father said, do they come with socks? I said, what do you mean? He said, do you call them to come with you?
They're so expensive.
That's so expensive.
Oh,
Can you
shucks,
talk
yeah?
to these Flosham shoes to come with you and bring you, plus the socks?
But when you wanted to be looking very spiffy and stuff, you have to have style.
Successful style.
Yeah.
You know, that's because apartheid robbed us of his self-worth.
Yes.
So the possession thing, which is an inherited thing about how many cattle did my grandfather have, was now in the township. What is it do I have?
Did you spend some time on the farm with your grandpa?
Yes. One of my worst Decembers was always to go visit my grandfather.
Eslalin, eh?
Eslalin.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
that was my father to connect us with the greater family line.
Yes.
And I stood there with my hands in my pocket and my cousins. And my grandfather had 3 wives.
So do you know how to milk a cow?
Oh, yes.
Is
There
it?
was no Dlalindong.
Seriously?
There was no Dlalindong. No.
That's
So
brilliant.
that was
Okay.
the point. My father would always take us there. Only when I was...
But there must be something there that you has stayed with you from that time. I mean, the success you've achieved, I mean, we look to you. I was joking about it earlier as a legend but you are a legend. And I'm thinking those days, there's Lalini, the basics, I think they were put to you. Eh? What still stays with you today?
It's responsibility. And the responsibility that goes beyond you. There's a responsibility to the people around you, the real knowing people at the basic level, not because they have achieved, but what they are worth. And that was for me the important thing. And also to be able to see you. And I always, like my grandmama would say, do you see me? He says, yeah, you standing. He says, no, do you see me? Which in bracket meant, do you respect me? Do you see me? I learned to see to a point where I was observant around me. It became a problem because when I was young, I would get in trouble because I can see your need, I can see your struggle, I can see your happiness, I can see your pain, I can see your anger. And what was wonderful, in those days I used to visit my grandfather, was storytelling.
Storytelling.
There was no radio, you see.
Yeah.
There was no music, there was no concert. We're sitting around the fire, so born, and my grandfather or my grandmother or the will just, let's tell a story.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
How important is it for us to see people the way your grandmother was challenging you? I'm asking this because I don't know how life is in Hollywood. I'm curious to know how it is with all the directors and the producers. Were you seen there? Did you feel seen on your journey there? And did you see others?
When you start, 1965, my first play, Antigone at the St. Stephen's Hall. No lines, I just was on stage. And I told my father to come and see me in the play. You could imagine, so that was it. That was it.
No line?
No lines.
Your father supported it?
Just looked at me.
Okay.
And my mother said, leave him alone, he looks happy.
Yeah, you trust our mothers to know how we really feel, eh?
Not to feel. But then as you then like done one performance, this 1972 Sizwe Banzi is dead, and suddenly I walk down the street and people say, you are, what's your name by the way? John Kani. Kanto dume ngani? Why you look popular? Your face is familiar.
Yeah.
Hollywood is a different culture. If you're not on the level of star, you don't exist.
They don't see you.
No, you don't exist. And the worst part of it, it makes you behave like them, because then you look like them and you fit in. When you do a movie, and I'm the A-lister, we're sitting here, the rest of the cast are in tents and marquees. We are in a beautiful place with a chef present. I order my meals. In my caravan, I have a person attending to my needs. Get me water, get me that, do that. That star syndrome thing around you is very, very, very dangerous, because then you expect people to see you as you walk down the street. Do you know me? Do you know who I am? Remember that advert saying?
Yeah, I remember the advert. Was it SAA or something?
Something.
Or somebody at the airport.
Yeah, the airport.
Saying, yes, the guy.
Do you know me?
Yes, this guy. He's lost it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, there's a gentleman here.
Yes.
He does not know who he is. Can somebody come to counter whatever?
So having won the Tony Award in 1975 with Winston Johnner,
Yes.
it's written on the award, dramatic star. You are now a star. You'll be treated differently. I don't need work permits and applications for Home Affairs because I'm a star. I create industry.
You know, just listening now, I'm very curious about something. It sounds to me, and you must tell me if I'm wrong, that the moment, your most courageous moments were not necessarily on stage, not on a set, whether Hollywood, whatever, and not maybe even when you stood up and spoke and acted against the apartheid government, okay, as an actor, but maybe they were in more intimate places. So you had to pluck up your courage from when you were young, maybe at home with people you loved. Is there such a moment?
Of course, look, as in the African culture, doesn't matter how many children are in the family, the most successful one becomes the eldest and becomes the one more responsible for everybody. So somebody said, once you become a successful actor or a business person, please do not put your family on your payroll, because then the family depends on you. They will never work out to find their own way. Because now you're successful, you've got to make sure that my sister and my sister's children, my aunt's children, my brother and my brother's children, they're all my responsibility. And some of us assume it with great courage and gratitude that I'm helping. But some of us feel like
It's black tax.
it's black tax. Great. I was looking for that word.
Yeah, they feel like it's black tax. Yeah.
tax.
Yeah. And how did you feel?
I feel like I have this blessing by the ancestors, by God and by family. I didn't make it alone here. I got 3,000 people at every time wishing me well in everything I do. I owe to acknowledge their existence, and I owe to help, extend a hand without taking over responsibility of looking after.
Okay, so you've never had the time where you've had to shut the door to say, hey, nangu umzala sibani bani, nangu umntana kasibani bani, I can't handle this now, here again. Or you get that message on a WhatsApp, said, oh, here we go, it's a month end, but dinga something. You've never had those kind of moments where you've had to push back.
You push back all the time, and then you set the rules. Only 3 reasons I will help you as a relative. Brother, sister, mother, or aunt, or all. If you're dead, I'll make sure you get a funeral. I will get the money and I'll bury you. If you are arrested, Jesus, make sure kukoni bail. Otherwise, I'm leaving you there, but I will not fund your lawyer's fee. And if you are sick, I'll take you to the best doctors I have. That's all I come in.
And that's what you've been doing until now.
I will not be involved in any school fees. I'm not involved. I didn't pay rent. I didn't do this, that. I just lost my job. My daughter's getting married. I don't get involved. They absolutely, you set it down clearly. My family knows that. Now that I've got only 2 sisters left now. The rest have passed on. Their souls rest in peace. So now I've got 2 responsibilities only.
But have they respected back your conditions?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
proud
beautiful.
of who I am, proud of what I'm doing, and proud that I am there as like my last resort. I'm not the first to knock on the door.
Okay. When you turned 70, you shared this with me the other day.
Yes.
You said your biggest fear, you were scared that to be poor when you are 80. How old are you now?
82.
And poverty? Are you poor?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
You're fine. No,
I am
give me a high five. Give me a high five. You've worked very hard for
I'm
that.
fine.
That's brilliant.
I'll
As long as
never
you're
be
fine.
poor.
The blessings are great. Yeah, because you've been giving as well, which is wonderful. And that just brings me to another matter I wanted to touch with you, which I'm curious about. Black Panther.
Yes.
There's a line there you use. And as you King T'Challa there.
King T'Chaka.
King T'Chaka. And then T'Challa is
my son.
Is your son.
Yep.
And then in that line, and it stayed with me as a father, where he says, no, he doesn't think he's ready. You are coming from the beyond,
Yes,
you passed, you coming from the ancestral world. And you say, well, have I ever, didn't I prepare you for my death as a father? Because
A man who does not prepare
prepare-
his
yeah.
children for his death
Yeah.
has failed as a father.
I thought to myself, I've got 4 kids. Am I preparing my kids for my death? Are you?
In a subliminal way, in a manner in which that makes them antisosmagade. I'm not going to be here forever. But if you use the time with me now, only as a reference library for extra understanding and knowledge, not beyond that. You have to grow quickly. 2, I made sure my children are not the children of John Kani. Now, John Kani has never been to my house. The father's been there. The husband to my wife, Umandi, has been there. The grandfather to my grandchildren, 10 of them, has been there. But I've never been John Kani in my neighborhood and at home.
Yeah. I mean, here on the Don't Die Unknown podcast, I'm trying to explore other parts as well. From what this example we've just used, I'm thinking many leaders overstay in power,
Yes.
in politics, but also in organizations. You hear that there's a glass ceiling. People move up from junior management to middle management, but that person there, doesn't move for 10, 15 years. This is the same thing, that if you are a father, you need to prepare for the end of the road. Our leadership sometimes are criticized for not lifting others up and prepare to move out of the road. How do you see that? What would you say to them?
I was in a fortunate position as a program director that the department, or Merim Khadana and the others, no Thabo Mbeki, would always ask me to come and be the program director for Madiba Nelson Mandela's projects and programs. And we were talking one day, and I asked him, why did you do one term? Just one term. Then he told me, I didn't even do that term, John. And I found out, really he didn't want to be president. He said, I don't know anything. I've been away for so long. Certainly there are people who could be president, not me. They asked him 2 times. It's only on the 3rd time when Walter Sisulu threatened that then I will tell the people, you don't want to be president. And then he said, 1 term. So I asked him why. He said, on the 2nd term, you feel that now is the time to feel yourself as president. And now knowing that I am serving my people. Yeah. On the 3rd term, you begin to doubt if there's anyone within the organization who could do the work better than the way you do. On the 4th term, you're frightened to lose this position because you don't know what's going to become of you after you walk out the president's office. So 1 is okay. The president of Botswana has just said, you could be stupid to want to do it for more than 2 terms. This is a very difficult
And
job.
he's young, he's in his 40s.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're a leader of an organization today and you're thinking and you're listening to this conversation, you should be thinking, okay, I must prepare for a particular time when I move over and I'm succeeded by somebody. So succession planning will be important.
I was going to use that word, the succession plan, which many leaders who did not make it there because of the ability and quality and deserving it, who got there through some lobbying by default, who constantly know that they could be exposed, that they are actually not in the leadership class. Those are the ones that stay forever. But the others that feel, I have served this institution, it's time to move. It's time to get new challenges. It's time to step back and just look at my life. And I have worked more when I retired in 2003. When I left the market theater, I said, no, I can't do this now. I need to have time to think. I need to have time to write. I need time to be with family. I was finding myself arriving at home. I was finding myself thinking that I sent a first-class ticket for the wife to join me in Hollywood, to join me in Paris. And I could see that there was no joining, actually. She was just being with me for a week or 2 at home. At home, as I arrived, put your bags down, and the kid says, when are you leaving? And I realized I'm losing myself into the John Kani fame. So I needed to step back. But I worked much more now than I've ever worked before.
So that realization was something that was inside you. It was like an inner voice speaking to you, that you realized, no, I'm needed now differently. That transition from 2003, how was it? Was it easy? Because many people and managers will find themselves in positions that they're doing very well. They are earning six-figure salaries, and they're thinking, oh, what's going to happen to me? Their identity is now subsumed with the role. They find it difficult. How was it for you? What kind of tips you could give for that transition?
You always believe in who you are and how this house called you was built brick by brick, and how you feel your role is within giving and receiving, within community involvement, business and life. There comes a time when 75% of that must not be dedicated to you. And there's that peace inside. Now, when you fear of what you're going to do, when I started in 2004, I almost developed a rash because I didn't know what's next.
You were stressed?
Yes, stressed. I don't know what's next. I've never been without a monthly salary from the market theater.
We all are scared about that.
We're scared about that. But the point was I financially, as head of the family or part of the family, have I saved enough money to be able to look into the future with some kind of relaxed? My son gets 120 for 39 series is done, Atandwa. So he comes to me and he says, looked at, check, 120,000. I said, then how much do you have? He said, I've just showed you the check. I said, no. This is what you were paid for, what you've done past. This work you're not going to do. You're paid for something you've done already. But you have 120, so how much do you have? He says, I'm not reading you. I said, all right, when is your next probable job? I don't know. I said, that's exactly how much you've been paid. I don't know. That's exactly. So if you say the next job may likely be in another 3 months, divide the 120 by 3. If you say in another 6 months, divide the 120 by 6. So that you are comfortable, not desperate, not panicking, not frustrated by the fact that you're not working now, because you have planned this process.
You have prepared yourself for the time. Yes, that's very important. Now, the other thing I'm curious about, Atandwa acted in Black Panther as your younger self.
That you see, this
Yeah,
thing,
no,
Yes.
hold on. No. He acted as you.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, did you give him the lines? Did you give him the notes? How does it work? How did you feel?
see, as I said in the beginning, we don't talk shop. Atanda is in New York. I'm in South Africa. I get a call from the Marvel people. Who's your agent? I said, no, agent is Munin Lee. So they talk to Munin. They're shooting Captain America, Civil War. I'm going to introduce the character of King T'Chaka, which will lead in the Avengers to
Yes.
lead the Black Panther. So, fine. Now, we do the Black Panther. Atando goes to audition for the part of King T'Chaka, the junior prince. So you know this new way now in the world, they don't do auditions by coming. They send in auditioning tapes.
Okay.
Right. And the director is watching one next, all the young people. And then he says, hold it, rewind. That one could look like John Kani young. He had dreads. And the
funny.
casting director says, actually, it's his son.
Oh, shucks.
Now, I don't know that.
Yes, you're not in the room.
I'm
You're
not in the room.
Yes.
And then he was not in the room. They just show. And Atandwa has a wonderful thing. He doesn't say Atandwa Kani when he goes for auditions.
Okay.
He says Atandwa.
Full stop.
Because the Kani becomes a problem. Either it opens the door or shuts it.
Yes.
You know. And this is what I was talking long time ago with Richard Burton. He said children of successful stars in Hollywood have a challenge because everybody thinks that they should be acknowledged because of my father. In Master Harold and the Boys, the young man who played Harley is Warren Beatty's son. The Warren Beatty.
Yes, the Warren.
Yes.
Yes.
And I looked at him, I said, Beatty, I said, link me with Beatty. He says, it's my dad.
Yeah. It's very hard because us as people who consume it, we say, he thinks it's going to be better than his dad.
Yeah.
And we compare to say, he
His
can't be like
father.
John. Like his
But
father.
he can't get away
He
from
can't
it.
get away,
He
yeah.
could go
Okay.
to a party and then or to an opening of another movie, and they says among the celebrities present was Atandwa Kani, in brackets, the son of the legend John Kani. It goes with him. He said first
I've always told my kids, I've got 4 kids as well, because of my public broadcasting life. I've always told them when they introduce themselves, they also do the same, but they must also know they are themselves.
Yes, of course.
They must say, I am so and so. That's it. I'm not somebody else. I want to end off on way of looking ahead, our conversation, which is you've shared quite a bit about the importance of family.
Yes.
Does legacy come in there for you? Because legacy is what we leave behind. Where you're sitting now, still very active. You've got a foundation. You are helping young people with skills. And this country needs skills. I mean, organizations have got budgets for skills. You are upskilling the young talent and stuff like that. What kind of legacy? Have you thought about it? I mean, does it bother you?
I live my life in the most useful way that possibly I can. I feel grateful to all those that were ahead of me, the Simon Mabunus, the Ken Gambus, or Sam Williams, those that opened up this whole area. And I also live life in present, knowing what is it I'm doing, and that which I have to be, in a way, an example. If your son says, I want to be an actor, and you say, like who? I want him to say, like John Kani, and I want you as a father to say, all right. But if I do not behave and live an exemplary life of respect, dignity, and humility, then I would have closed the door for a younger person who wanted to come into the life of being a professional.
So at your funeral, what would you want people to say you were known for?
At 105, years old. My grandfather died at 101. My father was not very well. He died at 71. I'm older than anybody in my family now. My grandmother at 106. I just leave that to my son and my family. What to put on that tombstone. I'm living now, and I'm living loud and strong and wonderful. Legacy is what you and the rest of the young people will say, this is what he left behind. I can't work for it. I can't be conscious of it, because then I will self-censor myself. I'll be always, does this think I'm a legend? It bothers me that, it doesn't bother me really. It just makes me laugh when people say, hey, John Kani, the legend. I say, looks like an old piece of wood in a museum. I'm alive now, brother. I'm working now, but I'm conscious of my responsibility. I started the Market Theatre Laboratory in 1989. 30% of actors you see come from that school. 2 years ago, I started the John Kani Academy of upskilling the already working artist who is struggling to break through. Someone is writing but cannot complete the writing. I get Zeksimda, Professor Mda, and say, you work with this young person or people, find out where the block is, acting, directing, screenplay writing. I'm working to upskill that. That's what I do because I have time to do that and I want to do it.
So what do you want people to say you were known for?
He lived his life concerned, aware, and he saw the people around him. You got to see people. When you get to the blinkers and focus on your own success, you don't see people. You might even walk over people, and always never forget to say thank you. Just thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. It's been great. You know, my father died in 2007, December, and he was getting sick. He was 93. In September, I get a call at work at Prime Media Broadcasting. The person who's looking after my dad says, your father is calling you. I said, he said, no, he just wants to talk to you. So I run to Soweto. I drive there. I said, what's wrong? He said, no, nothing is wrong. He said, my son, he said, we are Tsonga speakers. He said, Tsama. So I sit down. He said, no, I just wanted to thank you. I said, but I'm your only son, and whatever we do, I do for you. He said, no, the mistake we make as human beings, we don't thank people while they're alive. I think the current expression is that you give people flowers while they can still smell them. And the old man said that to me, and I've never forgotten that. So even me, I thank my children, I thank everybody around me. So I think it is a beautiful way, what you've just said, that, we must thank people.
Thank you. And also, be proud of what you're doing. Celebrate your being successful. Do not be embarrassed saying I'm rich in the context of having things, family, health, beautiful children and grandchildren. I'm not talking rich in wealth sense, but that don't rule it out. You're not going to be able to help if you don't have. So my whole life, as I said when I was 70, one of my worst fears is to be 80 and poor. What can I do? Because there's nothing I can do about it then. Therefore, I want to make sure to young people, this business is art. It is also business. You have to make money. And you have to tell and show people that you have made money and you are successful. I'm not saying ostentatious, and I'm avoiding the word rich, because wealth is important for me. It gives me an opportunity just to relax.
But wealth is not just money.
Not just money. Wealth is a lot of beautiful things.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been
Thank you,
a pleasure.
my brother.
Lovely to stay to you. Thank you very much.